What's up, guys? Rob D at Boiling Point LTC on Twitter, and Rob D Everything Litecoin on YouTube, and everythinglitecoin.com is my site for any type of Litecoin apparel, hardware wallets, seed key accessories, hodl field coffee, things like that. And also feel free to head over to the site and grab some Mighty Mia 50/50 drawing tickets. So you guys are going to be able to win 50% of the pot, which I believe is about 3.5 Litecoin right now. You're going to be able to win a data bunker, and you're also going to be able to win an EliPal wallet. So head over to everythinglitecoin.com, grab some 50/50 tickets, and be entered to win some incredible prizes. So let's get into the charts for DigiByte. If you guys are not already subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button if you find any value in my content. And watch these videos on increased replay speed. I find it very enjoyable. It kind of cuts out some of the lag. I usually watch videos around 1.5 replay speed. So that's a little tip for you guys. All right, so I've been taking some notes on DigiByte the past few days. I'm going to go over some bearish stuff with you guys, and then we'll take a look and see if there's any possibility of a breakout in the short term. The first thing I notice is the daily Bollinger Band, which is the 20-day moving average. It's been acting as a strong resistance, and we're looking at a similar move possibly like what happened in mid-April, where we broke down about 36%. So let's take a look at that. Mid-April, which is right around here. This is where the 20-day moving average was acting as pretty strong resistance. And as you guys can see, basically when I was taking these notes, it was about, I think we're about here, June 7th, Friday. Yeah, so I started taking notes Friday and Saturday. I saw the breakdown. So from there, we basically dropped down. We'll call it this day. We dropped down about 35% or so. So something like that is going to push us way down here. We might get a wick down here, which is actually the bottom of these candles here. 4 or 5 candles. So we could see something like that. I don't know if it's going to go that low, but as long as we continue to close over this trend line here, we should be okay. Long term, so short term we could see a drop. We hit that bottom Bollinger Band. We're trying to push back up, so we got to see where we close and then where we go from there. So if tomorrow's another good solid day, maybe we could test the middle Bollinger Band again and see if we could break up over that. But long term, this is kind of a important area just because you'll see it a little bit better on the weekly, and then I'll turn off the Bollinger Bands. So effectively, it would be good to get up and over this 1.5 area, 1.5 cents, and kind of hold that. That was acting as pretty strong support back in 2018, and it was a little bit of resistance as we came back down in 2017 before we had to break back over it again. So let's take a look at what else I have here. The daily volume is decreasing, so let's look at the daily volume. It's decreasing since, I don't know. It looks pretty decent. I mean, the tops, our spikes are not as high, obviously, but it does look like there's a decent amount of accumulation there. We could take a look at, let's take a look at the accumulation and distribution indicator. See what we have there. We are forming higher lows, which is good. In the grand scheme of things, we're still it looks okay. I mean, maybe we can come back down and test there. something like that. But basically, you want to see this indicator rise with price. If you have any type of divergences or stuff, then it can either be bearish or bullish depending on how the divergence is. So if you get like a price decline with this increasing, then you could pretty much say that it's a bullish divergence. Let's see what else I got here. The parabolic stop and reverse is giving a sell signal on the daily. However, we continue to close above the cross line. So let's see how that is. I haven't looked at that. So yeah, this was pretty much here, and then we finally broke back down, retested, and then came back down. So this is actually a key area. If you guys could see back in here in April, back in early April it was support, mid to late April was resistance, came back down, broke above it again, tried to use it as support again, failed, and now we're kind of just like in limbo. We're pretty much in a equilibrium pattern, and we're trying to break out of this. Let's see what else I got. Bearish divergence on the daily RSI. Take a look at that. We'll also take a look at the MACD. I like the MACD better, but we'll check both. Let's turn some of this other stuff off. Clean this up a bit. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of bearish divergence there. So basically, you have an increase in price, and you have a decline on your RSI. So that could be another bearish indicator there. Let's see, MACD indicator showing signs of downside, histogram increasing as of Saturday close. Look at the MACD. Alright, so yeah, our histogram is still increasing, which is the gap between your MACD and your signal line. So we could start to converge again. As of now, we're still diverging away, but we could be nearing somewhat of a reversal. We definitely don't want to see sub-zero. Because then we're gonna see more downside. So if we kind of level off and play around here a little bit, you know, we'll probably fall into like a little bit of an accumulation phase here, maybe, and then go up like that. If we do end up breaking below zero, and this thing has to come back all the way down here and reset like it did here, you're gonna see this price, you know, come back down and probably retest this lower trend line. So that's going to be important. And yeah, I mean, so that's definitely another bearish indicator there. So let's look at the weekly MACD. Let's see what I was seeing there. I mean, the weekly MACD is looking pretty strong. We might have a little, like maybe another week of downside before we come back up again, because you are converging here. You have a couple down ticks in your histogram, so which means these two lines are going to kind of flatten off and come together some more. The weekly wasn't very strong on the last move, even though it looks like there was a a huge move, but 100% for DigiByte's not a lot, honestly, because it's capable of making these gigantic moves like this, 2,000%. You know, so it's capable of making gigantic moves when it goes. And right now we could pretty much be in something like how this descending triangle was, but now we're putting in an ascending triangle, which is just a mirrored move of this. And then after that, you guys can see what happens. An explosion. So if we do hang out in a channel like this for this long, let's measure up these wedges and see how long they lasted. This one was about 371 days. This one, 370. Wow, I mean, these are pretty similar in size, actually. They look like they're very similar in size. Top channel tested on 2 consecutive weeks and failed to break, which was basically a channel like this. I don't have it on here anymore, but so I mean, it doesn't have to break. You know, like look at Litecoin. Litecoin's been in a channel forever. You know, so there's nothing wrong with being in a channel. It's just that you're not going to get that explosive move. You know, you'll just continue to move. You know, this is more of like a accumulation type of channel where it floats in here, you know, before it blows up. So I wouldn't mind seeing DigiByte do something like this, come back down, retest it, kind of squeeze in here, and then boom, parabolic. Because we know what happens when DigiByte runs. I mean, you can see it on several occasions here. 6,000%, 300%, 20,000%, 2,000%. So let's say, I mean, I think the next breakout, the real bull market, once Bitcoin really takes off, is going to send DigiByte to, you know, very high levels, to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to get this, you know, 20,000% like we got here. That would mean we're going to do something like $3. I don't see $3. Maybe you'll find somebody doing a DigiByte chart where they'll draw some crazy trend line like this and tell you that the next time it breaks out, it's going to go to $6 or $7. But let's be real, guys. It's 1.5 cents right now. All right. This is like a Ripple video, you know, where people draw these lines and the friggin' thing ends up like in $1,000, and then they make a clickbait video where they're telling you XRP is going to $1,200 or some ridiculous number like that. So I definitely have targets for DigiByte of about 25 cents or so, which would be in this range. From 25 cents to $1 would be my estimate, you know, my estimations on that next run. That's still huge gains, though. Let's see. This is going to be at least 1,500 to 6,500. So somewhere in that range, which is good. That's a really strong move. So we'll see what happens with DigiByte over the next couple weeks. I think this pattern's going to play out. We're going to squeeze down nice and tight in here. Let's see what the weekly Bollinger Bands look like. Yeah, so we're definitely using that 20-week, the mid Bollinger Band, which is a 20-week moving average as support right now. We've touched it 3 times in the past month. So if we break down there, it'll definitely test this without a doubt. And then we could possibly get a wick lower because this will be up slightly higher. This is going to start to run up like that. And this will kind of start to close in. Long-term, DigiByte definitely looks good, without a doubt. It's going to move. It's got such a great project behind it. I'm not even trying to shill it right now. But they got some really smart guys behind the project over there. Jared Tate and I can't even remember the other guy's name. And Josiah. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name. Josiah, Jared Tate, their awareness team. There's some things I'm not 100% fond of with them, but they're definitely a good solid project with good people there. Community's very strong. I think I pretty much covered all the bearish stuff. Let's see the OBV indicator, rising testing. Alright, let's look at that, I guess. Close this. OBV. OBV's been flat. Which, if you look in here, it was flat as well. You know, we have pretty much the same similar move. You know, spike, come down, pop up, accumulate. Spike, come down, pop up, accumulate. This is just a much, much longer accumulation phase. So that looks pretty good. That looks solid. Long-term support from November to December of 2018, which is here. Yeah. So it's definitely holding this range. There's a lot of activity going on in here. This whole area from pretty much from here. This is like such a huge accumulation zone, guys. You don't even know. This area right here is so much activity. Right? You had, these are weekly candles. You pretty much had, I'd say like 25 out of those 29. And then you have another 29 here. You have almost 60 weeks in this zone. 60 weeks of accumulation. All right? Tons of accumulation going on DigiByte. Just because the community believes in it so much that there's a lot of hodlers there. Let's see. Weekly, still showing a buy signal. Let's look at that. Yeah, so we still have a buy signal here. Basically, your stop loss, if you are trading this, would be almost 1 cent exactly. That's on the weekly, but you wouldn't get there until other indicators broke, like the daily. But the daily's actually in a sell right now. So we'd basically have to get back up. We'd have to touch the top of this probably in the next few days for that to flip back to a buy side. But I definitely think we're probably going to test the top of this channel, the top of this wedge again. It's just done it the entire time so far. So why stop there? Unless we get something like this, you know, where it comes back down like this, tests the top, fails to break it again, and then just sets another higher low before coming out of it. Probably sometime towards the end of the year, we'd probably break out of this. Maybe October, November, and we'd get a nice explosive move to the upside. So I actually sold all my DigiByte back in September of last year when we were in this area here. We were in this sideways movement here. I sold off in there. Went to Litecoin September, which was right about here. I sold. I bought. We pumped a little bit. I didn't sell off, and then we dumped. So we pretty much. But from there, pretty much from when I sold, you know, we went up about 120%. However, DigiByte came down 46%. So I'm actually up almost 400% on that trade, and I'm probably going to close it off by the time Litecoin comes up, makes its little halving pump move. Probably something like this. That looks like a halving move there. And we do 180 to 200, and then DigiByte will probably still be sideways at that point within this wedge. I think that would be a great time for me to swap back over and close that trade. That's almost a full year on the trade. It's about 9 to 10 months or so. So we went over all the bearish stuff, the bullish. We looked at the stop in reverse, OBV, long-term support, and then let's see how we closed the weekly with the RSI. Let's see how that closed. Oops. Get rid of OBV. So we got a slight, oh no, that's the daily. Let me see the weekly. We got a little uptick there, you know, because we broke out today. So, actually, I think the 48.49 was our support range. So pretty much right here, right where heavy area here. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hits here. You know, support here. So this is a key area. Who knows? Maybe we're just back testing it before going lower and touching the bottom of that trend line. But you know, we could kind of just float around in here a little bit. But that's what I'm looking at, guys. I could definitely see us touching the bottom of this again, just because, you know, that's the pattern that it's in right now. You know, we got 1 touch, 2 touch, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we could possibly get that breakout. Down here, 1, 2. We'll call this whole thing 3, 4, 5, 6, breakout. Same thing. All right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, breakout. And hell, let's give us some hopium here. What did I say this was? 3 something? 22,000%. So $3.60. And just for shits and giggles, excuse my French, let's line this up. Hey, what the hell? Look at that. How about that, guys? So DigiByte to $3.60 on the breakout. Never know, right? This is crypto. Could happen. That would be pretty wild. I don't think so. But what do I know? I would take it though. I think most people would take it. It's a nice. You put $1 in and you make a lot. I'm not about to do that math. A lot. $1. $2,200. So that's what I'm seeing, guys. This video has probably gone on longer than you want to be watching and listening to me. So we're just going to move sideways, I think, in this triangle here, and then we'll break out towards, you know, August, September, maybe. July, I think, would be too soon. Probably August, September. You know, if we stay in this pretty much the same exact pattern. Hopefully we don't break below it. You know, if we do break up, it's probably going to be a parabolic move. So just be ready for that towards the next, you know, next quarter, third, you know, Q3, for us to make that move. And by then, hopefully Litecoin is like 200 bucks, and I'll, you know, get back into DigiByte. Maybe I'll help you guys push up over that. I have like a few hundred DigiByte I have to buy, so maybe. So, all right, guys, that's it. You don't want to hear me anymore. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.